Welcome to Marketing MASH, brought to you by themarketingscope.com.
Hi, this is Eric Vidal with The Marketing Scope, and I want to give you some tips, some nice marketing tips to start off your 2019 year off properly. So I really want to give you about 30 tips, but let's keep it short and concise. One is make sure you put a marketing plan and some goals together now at the beginning of the year. And what you should do each month is make sure that you look and review those goals. Analyze the data. Make sure that you're hitting your goals. And if you're not hitting your goals, that's fine. But you have to put a line in the sand somewhere and then try to achieve those. I was talking to a couple of companies earlier this month, and both of them were very shy about putting goals together. They didn't want to put goals. Some people don't want to get measured, but you need to know what's working and what's not. So I strongly urge you to make sure that you have a marketing plan in place and some goals. In regards to marketing plans, I know some companies, it's funny, some will put a plan together with only 2 or 3 things that they want to do, like the website. We want to do more events. We want to do some webinars. Keep it very simple. I think too simple is not enough. And I know that on the other hand, there's some companies I've looked at and worked with where they're putting together like 30 different things, and they're trying to do way too much in a 6 or 12 month time period. And I think somewhere in the middle is a nice happy medium. And let me share with you some pieces of a good marketing plan I think that will help you find success in 2019. And some of these might be elementary, but some of them just really think about it and maybe try to expand on it. So one is, all too often I see a lot of smaller companies not doing this. Small tech companies sometimes, they just get very focused on the technology and lead gen and sales, and they're not focusing on trying to position their CEO or founder and the company as a leading voice in the space. And here's some ways to do that. One is have a blog. Well, you're going to kill a few birds with one stone by having a blog. One is you're going to get you're going to drive traffic, nice organic traffic to the site. But the other one is you're going to position your CEO or your staff and the company as a leading voice. You're going to be telling those stories and getting that message out there. Speaking of stories, you should also try to write articles for different either business, tech, or very specific industry magazines. And on a monthly basis, one a month, try to get your CEO or another executive to write an article so you, the marketing person, can pitch that story to a industry magazine or business tech magazine. And if you can't get that exec to write, you write it for them and have them review and edit it and co-write it together, ghostwrite it, if you will. Those are some ways. The other one is doing videos like this and putting them on your social media channels and have them be educational and try to position your CEO and the company as a leading voice. Another one is to try to get some speaking opportunities at different conferences. Another one is webinars. I can go on and on. Those are just a few. There's much more, but really try to focus on that for 2019 and make sure that's in your plan. Another one is content creation, and it kind of goes in line with the last one I just talked about, but try to create content. And there's some companies out there really doing a good job now, and it makes it harder for the rest of us to get that content out there because there's so many webinars, there's so many white papers and ebooks, there's so many videos and so on that it's hard. So focus on creating some really good content. And share that with your customers, share that with your community, your prospects. The last one I would say is lead generation. And this one, I can go on, and I've done a lot of videos and articles on this. And first is trying to create a predictable lead machine, something where that if you spend, for every dollar you spend, you're going to get a certain amount of leads, right? And so by the time we get in March and April, it's a predictive machine where if you put $1,000 in, you're going to get a certain amount of leads. And so at the beginning of each month, you're going to know ahead of time how many leads you're going to deliver by the end of the month. And it's possible. I've done it. A lot of my peers, some of my customers that we work with, they do it. One tip I'd like to give is, at the beginning of the year, you're very busy. And you're putting together your plan, and you're working on all the different pieces of your plan, PR, social media, events, webinars. You have all these things in place, right? You're reworking the messaging on some different products. So how can you, start the lead gen funnel, maybe in parallel while you're doing all that, is reach out to a media company that can help you. Obviously, we're a media company. We can help you. We're not the only ones. There's others out there. And they have these cost per lead programs. And it's not like a typical email marketing program or where you sponsor a newsletter and you pay X amount and, maybe you get 120 leads from it. Or maybe you only get 2. Either way, you pay the same amount. That's not it. Nowadays, there's these cost per lead programs. So you pay a certain amount. You say, I want 200 leads for this price. You make the agreement. That media company will deliver the 200 leads. It may take them 2 or 3 weeks. It may take them 4 or 5, but they won't stop until all the leads are delivered. It's guaranteed. So that is definitely one that I would start off early on in the year. Early Q1, get your pipeline built early. You want your salespeople and your SDRs to be calling on prospects and nurturing them with emails right away. So that's an integral piece. I always buy those when I was on the marketing side. As a director and VP of marketing, I was always buying cost per lead programs throughout the year, but I was always going heavy in the first quarter or two because I wanted that pipeline filled. Those are just some tips to help you kick off and launch your 2019 marketing in the right way. For more information, best practices and tips on marketing in general, obviously you can check us out on themarketingscope.com. I'm Eric Vidal. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Marketing Mash. You can share your thoughts by following us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast to keep up with the show. And of course, you can always find us by visiting themarketingscope.com.